Hi people and welcome to the start of my latest project. This one will be just me reading a journal that I wrote while role-playing, so if you don't like me reading or if you do not like fanfics, then I suggest you just skip this whole playlist. Anyway, I started to write this journal while role-playing, and as a disclaimer, the timeline won't hold up for scrutiny, with the biggest issue being that the Molten Alliance events will be described happening before the killing of Zaiten. That is due to certain stuff that happened while I was role-playing, and it's too big a deal to change because that would require me rewriting the whole journal. Anyway, this first one will be a presentation of Wulopin, who he is, what he's like, and his background and stuff. And starting with the next episode, I will be just reading his journal entries. That being said, let's go and start talking about Wulopin Ivoryheart. Wulopin Ivoryheart is a solitary man. He's troubled by dark events from his childhood. Therefore, he can sometimes be introvert and asocial, during which he often spends time with his companion Bear Fredrickson in the wilderness. At other times, he is very well behaved and social. He doesn't dislike the company of others, but his somewhat moody personality means that there are few people that manages to break down the defensive barriers he builds up. This has led to very few friends, but the one he has are real close, and they know that they can trust Wulopin with anything. Moreover, Wulopin can be very proud, and can hold a grudge for a very long time. He is intelligent and analytical, something that has proven to be of great benefit in battles as well as private life, though contributing to him being an outsider. He also has a very strong sense of fairness, and if someone get treated unfair, Wulopin will react strongly. If he feels cornered in a discussion, he can resort to using his noble background as a sort of shield, emphasizing the superiority of the nobles and the inferiority of the lesser classes and races, or acting too correct, all in line with his raising as a nobleman. Wulopin is religious, but he does not actively conform to a single deity. He prays to all of the six and sometimes calls upon them for aid. He was brought up hearing people say that he bear the mark of Grenth above his head, and Wulopin calls upon Grenth for strength in his quest to avenge the killing of his parents. Wulopin was found as a small child outside an orphanage in Lion's Arch. The orphanage keepers didn't know who put him there, his age, or where he came from, though his appearance suggests a southern origin. Wulopin's first memory is the screams of his parents as they were slain by a dragon. He also remembers the dragon's eyes, and whenever he meets that dragon again, he believes that he will recognize it. This memory made him a very serious child, filled with hatred against dragons, but also against people that Wulopin thought was going to try to prevent him from executing his vengeance upon the dragon. His adoptive mother, Deborah Borghese, tried to clear his mind of the troubled memories by giving him a pet bear, and Wulopin named the bear Fredrickson. From the day that he got the bear, they were inseparable. Wherever Wulopin went, the bear followed, as if the bear felt the need to protect his master, and his stepmother didn't do anything to prevent this, since she thought the bear in time would calm down its master. Wulopin's stepfather, Nathaniel Borghese, was abusive, taking out all his frustrations from failure in his life on Wulopin with his cane or belt. Nathaniel tried to get rid of Fredrickson after an incident where the bear almost maimed him after he had broken Wulopin's jaw, but Deborah intervened and let Wulopin keep the bear, since she knew it was keeping Wulopin safe. It was at this time that Wulopin started to spend more and more time in the fields and forests surrounding Divinity's Reach, and when the dark clouds amassed above his head, he usually took his bear and went deep into the wilds for days. His step-parents initially tried to stop him, but soon found out that there were few things that could have stopped Wulopin and Fredrickson from going where they wanted. In the wilds, Wulopin learned how to survive and to fight. It wasn't uncommon during these trips that the bear had to save Wulopin from certain death when faced by giant poisonous spiders or some other dangerous animals, something that no one ever found out, but made Wulopin depend and trust his companion more and more. One day, when Wulopin and Fredrickson was roaming a forest, they came upon a woodsman in need of help. The woodsman had apparently cut down a tree infested by wood spiders and was now desperately trying to cut himself loose from their entangling webs while keeping them at a distance with his woodsman axe. Wulopin rushed to his aid, and while Fredrickson tore the legs from one of the spiders, Wulopin's arrows pierced every eye on another with deadly precision. One night in Divinity's Reach, about 2 weeks after this incident, Wulopin was approached by 3 hooded figures asking cryptic questions such as, "Can you know what cannot be known?" Wulopin answered these questions until he grew weary of them and dismissed them before leaving them to walk away. Suddenly he felt a small sting in his neck, and before he could even turn around, everything went black and he fell down unconscious. He woke up in a dark place. The only thing he could see was the woodsman he had rescued, sitting on a chair in crimson red armor and a torch in his hand. This was the start of Wulopin's initiation into the Order of Whispers. During his time in the Order, he came to see the intricate conspiracies that the dragon used to undermine the power of those opposing him. Wulopin learned many new things during this time, and he started learning how to mix poisons for his weapons at the hands of a Hylek poison master. But he never got close to a dragon, and this became the source of increasing frustrations within him. The Order also kept an eye on a new formed military group called the Vigil, and with his increasing frustration, Wulopin got more and more interested in this army. If he ever were to fight the dragons that killed his family, he needed allies, and the Vigil charged the dragons head on. What could then be better than to join them? He approached his superiors about wanting to fight the dragons to find the one responsible for killing his parents, and wanting to join the Vigil for this purpose. His superiors wasn't happy about this, but finally let him go, saying, "We will be watching you, hearing your every word, and if you so much as hint at revealing any of our secrets to those brutes, you are history." Wulopin said goodbye to his few friends within the Order, knowing he would probably never see them again. Then he and Fredrickson walked to the Vigil Keep. It was a massive fort with heavy armored soldiers training everywhere. Wulopin asked his way to the recruitment officer and met a huge Norn woman that saw him into the Ashen chapter of the Vigil. This was the start of a whole new life for Wulopin. Where he earlier studied and learned the ways of covert warfare, he now had to use his muscles and stamina. Though he wasn't unfit when he came to the keep, the level of physical training was new to him. He also quickly understood that being a lone wolf in irregular armor isn't the smartest thing to be, so he put on the mask he used to bear in his noble home in Divinity's Reach and tried to make friends. So that was a bit about Wulopin's background. He spent a lot of time in the basic training in the Ashen chapter, and when the story starts in the next episode, they have just moved out. So thanks for listening. I hope you will enjoy this series, and take care.